Hello friends, and welcome back to Swift Lessons for routine number 9 of my Blues Self-Accompaniment Series. In this session, I'm going to be adding in some more advanced turnarounds, a walk and shuffle, double stop licks, and also percussive hits. As always, I got all the tabs available for you at patreon.com/swiftlessons. There you can also find the other lessons within this series. They break down my favorite blues tricks and also take you from beginner to advanced. Now let's get started with a full demonstration, then I'll break it down for you step by step. 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and a... Okay, close look at the fretboard and also my pick in hand, kicking off routine number 9 with an advanced turnaround. Real slow, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Alright, and that will get you to the beginning of the 12 bar. Let's break that down. Okay, breaking that down, we're starting off with octaves. It's going to sound like this. I'm sliding up to the 7th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the B string. Those are both E notes. The high E string, followed by the A string. It's a very syncopated rhythm. Alright, then we're going to go down to 5 and 5, ring finger and pinky on those same strings. And do the same finger picking pattern, but it's going to be with a straight rhythm. Alright, then go down to C sharp with the middle finger and return to the syncopated rhythm. Alright, now we have 3 positions. Syncopated, straight, syncopated. Then we're going to go down to C and play it straight. Then finally, stop short, staccato, grabbing the B note on the 2nd fret A string and that E note on the 5th fret of the B. Okay, you put all that together, we have. Okay, next we're going up to the 7th fret of the low E string. It's a B note. And setting up a B7 bar chord shape where we're going to do a little bit of picking followed by some strumming. Okay, so sliding up to the 7th fret, we set up the bar chord shape. That's going to be the 9th fret of the A string, 8th fret of the G string. We're going to start off hitting the root. As we slide in, hammer down that middle finger onto the 8th fret. So it's 7 to 8, followed by the high E string. Back to the root, then grab the B string as the pinky grabs the 10th fret. Then strum, 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 strum. And that'll get you to the beginning of the 12 bar. Let's put that entire intro turnaround together now. Okay, that entire turnaround now at a super slow tempo. A 1, 2, and 3 and a 4 and a... Just like that. Okay, starting our 12-bar blues off with 3 repetitions of a walk-in shuffle. It's gonna sound like this, nice and slow. Okay, so that begins with low E string and the G string together, hammering down that index finger to the G string first fret. Then we're going to have the B string and the high E string open, 1 and followed by a percussive hit, just slapping the strings. Then we're going to slide up to the 4th fret of the low E string, a G sharp note. 1 and 2 and. Alright, then we're going to play the 2nd fret of the A string to complete the walk up. 1 and 2 and Alright, then we're going to start to descend. 5, 4, 5, A string and G string. Then we're going to time together the 4th fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the G string. Then with your ring finger, pluck the B string open. That gives you plenty of time to get back to the start of that walk-in shuffle. Okay, so you play that walk-in shuffle 3 times. 3. Then, on the 4th measure, we're going to start it again. Do the hammer, the high strings, the slap. Then we're going to follow that up with a really cool lick on the G, B, and high E strings. Real slow. Okay, and that'll get you to the A chord. Let's break down that lick. Okay, breaking down that lick, I slide up to the 4th fret of the G string, 3rd fret B, high E string, open. That's a very popular blues technique. Then we're going to pull off the 3rd fret of the high E string, but play the G string 4th fret along with it. What you have so far. That's followed by 4 and 3, G string, B string. Adding that in. Then we're going to play high E string open, 4th fret G. Adding that in. Then finally, we're just going to play the G string 4th fret, 3rd fret of the B string, and pull off the index finger. Very interesting double stop lick. You put that measure together, and we have. Alright, to get yourself to line number 2, following along using your tab. Okay, excellent work everybody. You have that intro turnaround down, and also the first 4 bars of that blues progression. I'm going to show you everything that you've learned so far, beginning with that intro turnaround. A slow tempo. 1, 2, and 3, and a 4, and a... Okay, now moving on to line number 2 of the 12-bar blues, following along using your tab at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Okay, now moving on to line number 2 of that 12-bar blues, demonstrating 2 measures on A7. A 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a... Getting ourselves back to the E chord. Okay, breaking down that first measure over A7. Really cool descending lick there. Okay, so starts off with the open A string, then pulling on the G and B strings, 2nd fret, barring that A chord. Percussive hit, just slapping the strings, and then playing C, C sharp, frets 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5th frets of the D and the B strings, alternating, then 4 and 3. So 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 4. You put all that together, we have. Okay, and any place you see these little slides, those are just embellishments. They're optional. You don't have to have those in there right away if you're just trying to get the basic approach down. Okay, then a second measure over A7 we play. Really cool Eric Clapton style lick. So it starts the same way, A string, pulling on those G and B strings, and slapping on beat number 2. Then we slide up to the 6th fret of the G string, 5th fret of the B string, 7, 6, 5 on the high E string. Then slow bends on the B string, 8th fret. And then to get into the 3rd measure, back to E7, we're hitting the low E string and the high E string open. Right there, that's a great lick, worth the price of admission. Okay, everything that we have over A7. Okay, now we're ready for the final 2 measures of line number 2, looking at that 12-bar blues. Okay, completing line number 2, we're just going back into 2 measures of that walk-in shuffle, but we're going to begin it with a slight variation, just hitting the open high E string and low E string, then the high E string by itself. Slap the strings, slide to 4, 2, and then complete that walk-in shuffle that you already have down. So then, coming out of the A7, going into the E7 would sound like this. Alright, and then from there, we're going to go to line number 3, the B7 chord. Okay, jumping into line number 3, the B7 to A7 change. This part is taken directly out of routine number 8. It's going to sound like this. Okay, getting started with the B7 chord, that lick. One more time. Hit the low root by itself, 7th fret with the thumb. Then we're going to do an upstroke on the high E string. Might get a little bit of the B string in there as well. Then double note, 7 on the low E, 10 on the high E. 7, 7, E, and B. So far you have. Then we're going to do another double note. 7 on the E, and then we have 10 on the B, bending up. 7 on the high E, 9 on the high E. So far you have. Alright, then one more double note, 7 and 7, as you hammer and pull to the 8th fret back to 7. Then finally you're going to bend the B string 10th fret to finish up that lick over B7. Then we just need to do the exact same thing down on the A7 chord. Except that time I'm going to start it off with a double pick. Then we'll go back into our intro turnaround to close up shop. Okay, excellent work everybody. You have your intro turnaround and lines 1, 2, and 3 of the 12-bar blues if you're following along using that tab at patreon.com/SwiftLessons. Now we're ready to finish up with a variation to that intro turnaround. It's gonna sound like this, starting from that A7 lick. A 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a... yourself to an E7 sharp 9. Okay, so basically the exact same thing that we played in the intro, but variate it because we're coming out of that precarious A7 position. So it began with the low and the high E strings open, then that's followed by just the E string, the high E string open. So 1 and. Then we're going to go to 5 and 5, A string and B string, and we're going to put together that syncopated finger pattern that we had in our intro. Okay, so this is kind of straight rhythm. Syncopated. Alright, then we're going to go down to the C sharp, but keep that E note on the 5th fret B string. And play the rhythm straight. Down to C, syncopate. Then nice and short, staccato, the B and the E. You put all that together and we have one more time real slow. Okay, if you want to fool around with that rhythm, you don't have to syncopate any of them, or you can syncopate all of them, it's up to you. Alright, then after that, everything is going to be the same for the B7 chord, just like we did in the intro. Slide up to the 7th fret, do that little hammer on, high E string, bass, and grab the dominant 7, that is the 10th fret of the B string. A little bit of strumming before going to a cliffhang chord. The E7 sharp 9, aka the Hendrix chord. Okay, so that chord shape, we have 7 on the A string, that's your root note, the major 3rd on the 6th fret of the D string, then we're going to have the flat 7 or the dominant 7 on the 7th fret of the G string. Okay, and then the pinky is going to be on the 8th fret of the B string, that's that sharp 9. The 9th note of the E scale, sharped up 1/2 step. Okay, E7 sharp 9, aka the Hendrix chord. Okay, let's put everything together that we have for that outro turnaround. Okay, your entire outro turnaround now. Okay, congratulations everybody. You have the entire routine complete. Now we're going to play through it at a slow tempo. I'm going to invite you to practice along. Be sure to rehearse this measure by measure, bit by bit. Make sure your foot is tapping. Try counting along when you can. And that's going to really help you to be able to solidify these licks and be able to add them into your own repertoire. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out routine number 9. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to practice this nice and slow, bit by bit, and start seeing if you can implement some of these tricks into your own playing, including your original work. I gotta thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying the extra resources. Thanks to you guys, I've got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.